I give this book a 3 out of 10. Why? Let me explain. Before we begin, let me clarify two things. The first one is that I do not intend to malign anyone through this video. किसी पे भी कोई कीचड़ उछालने का पर्पस नहीं है. ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है कि कोई भी बच्चा जब प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस को रेफर करता है, एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है उसकी प्रिपरेशन का. PYQs आर अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट part of anybody's preparation. So a student should have the right information before choosing what PYQs product the student wants to purchase. And the second point is that I do not intend to violate the copyright of the book owners. So great care has been taken to show only the minimum basic things required to drive home the points which I want to make in this review video. The next thing is why this video is being made in the first place when already there are so many videos around this book on YouTube. So the point is that I have watched almost all the videos on this book, and there are certain things which I felt should be highlighted about the book, which are really critical for any PYQs product, because it's a matter of somebody's attempt, it's a matter of somebody's career, time, right? So there are a few important things which I found in this book, and I want to share those things. I did not find these, uh, so to say, negative aspects in the reviews which are there on YouTube. Then, why should you watch me? Why should you trust me? Because I am a professional researcher in this field. I'm running my own institute, and I'm running courses. I've got my own PYQs product also. It's a digital product which has taken me 4 years of hard work to create. And every day, day in and day out, I'm surrounded by PYQs only, mainly prelims PYQs, the solution, how to make preparation more effective. So I feel all this experience. I've been in this field for more than 10 years now, including my preparation years as a student and then as a professional in the field. So, more than 10 years, I have the experience of UPSC, and I think I have got 2 cents to share around the topic of PYQs. So, if you find what I shared in this video helpful, please do let me know in the comment section. Also, if you feel there were certain things which I missed in this review, or if you feel I got biased in the review, please do tell me that also, because everybody is fallible, everybody can make mistakes, and it's our duty to help others identify their mistakes so that they can improve. So it applies to me as well. So this is the motivation behind this video. It's not about किसी को नेम कॉलिंग है कि रेड फ्लैग्स है, ऐसा किसी को मलाइन नहीं करना, बट इट्स जस्ट दैट आई फाउंड अ फ्यू negative points, matlab weaknesses in this book, and I think the publishers should take note so that they can create a better product next year, right? So beginning with this book, see, whenever we want to buy a PYQs product, we buy a product for a few things. I've listed these things. So these are the main reasons why students purchase PYQs. Otherwise, PYQs are available for free also online, right? But why purchase them? Firstly is the segregation. The segregation of PYQs can be in different ways. It could be subject wise, it could be topic wise, it could be micro topic wise. Many other different angles also are there for segregation of PYQ. So the more ways in which PYQs can be segregated, the better it is for students, right? Because one question can be looked at from different angles. So the more filters or segregations are there around any given question, the better, the deeper will be the understanding. So segregated PYQs. This particular book is segregating only subject wise. All right, you can note what is written here. It is only subject wise, and it is not going in the subject topic wise. So do not expect that. Okay, that is the first thing. The second important thing is the relevance to the exam. The solution which is there in the book, solutions form a great deal in products like these books. Basically, students buy these books not just for the collection of questions, but also how to approach any given question. They can have doubts in any question, so how to approach that question, why was that question asked, how to think about that question, what to expect in future around those lines, right? What kind of questions have been asked in the past. So these are different aspects which students uh, should know, will want to know. So the solution that is given should be relevant to this exam. It's a generalist exam, it's not a technical exam. So solution ideally should suit the requirements of this exam. It should not be too less, too small in length. It should not be excessively large in length, having a lot of details or numbers, so to say, numbers and data which are not required for this exam. So the solution has to be relevant to the exam, and it has to be of appropriate length, neither too short nor too long. And lastly, mentor comments are very, very important. Now, this is something which is out of reach of the industry as of now, but certainly if it can be incorporated in any way, I try to do it through my videos. Videos actually is the best way to deliver mentor comments, but in text, if it can be incorporated, great. So mentor comments will mean things like how to think about a question, why was that particular question asked, and next time, like if we have some PYQs around a question on similar lines, those PYQs also could be shown, or what to expect in future, right, on a similar topic or themes. So mentor comments, uh, a dream as of now, but certainly it would be great if it can be incorporated. So overall, if we look at the answer key aspect, I'm sorry for the messing up. The answer key aspect, the answers should have explanations. They should have hints where explanation is not there. So how to approach the hint, and something extra related and relevant to the question, but a little bit extra than what has been asked, right? Something which a student will find difficult to prepare by oneself. So that information could be given. So knowledge base, right? If we come to this book now, I've already told you it's a subject wise segregated book only. It doesn't have topic wise segregation. The first thing to remember. Secondly, the coverage is from 1998 till 2023. I personally feel students should do from 1979. I've made videos also about how questions older than 1998 or even 1995 are important and helpful in solving questions, even in the current way in which the questions have been asked. So I personally feel you should go till 1979, but this book is till 1998. So it's a personal call. If you feel 1998 is enough, that's okay. If you feel it's not enough, then you have to maybe look at other options. Then the marketing, like let's just go through these points. What the book is touting, right? So it is saying a decoded topic wise syllabus. So topic wise syllabus, yes, they have given the decoded syllabus, but it's really not important. It's nothing that is adding too much value or which can be a basis of purchasing this book. Now, to keep this video short, I don't want it to be too long, so I'm not showing you all the detailed syllabus. And again, that copyright issue, yeah, and I don't want to too much of that, so I have to minimize that. So decoded a topic wise syllabus, in my opinion, not a purchase making decision, a factor. Then important prerequisites. So here this means your age limit of the exam, in how many stages the exam is conducted, all of that, like the UPSC notification related stuff, the cutoffs of the last 10 years for prelims and mains, that kind of thing. Important prerequisites, right? The analysis, question analysis in each subject in the last 10 odd years, how many questions have appeared, like that kind of stuff. Then detailed answers and explanation. Now, this is an important aspect. In fact, this is amongst the most important things which a student will consider while purchasing any PYQ book. And we'll go through mainly this aspect of this book. Then CSAT, I've not got into the CSAT part of the review of this book. I am personally dealing with the GS aspect, the professional research which I do. It's around GS and reading comprehension in CSAT. So I've not got into the CSAT part of the book. Then mains, previous year papers unsolved, doesn't really matter. You can download them anywhere. So this is not a selling point. And preparation strategy. Again, preparation strategy are everybody will have their own strategy. So again, you should not make a purchase decision based on just this preparation strategy given in the book, right? Moving ahead, let us see. So when I opened the book, I purchased this book with my own money. It's not a review book or it's something which I've got for free. It's nothing like that. I purchased this book with my own money, and as soon as I got my hands on it, the first thing I referred was the price. And again, the first step itself was a little bit of shock. On the last page of the book, it mentioned MRP of 700 rupees. And if you open the first page of the book, Pramesh Universal India, you can see Pramesh Universal India here also. So this is the same book. Look at the MRP. Here it is mentioning 850 rupees. On the book last page, it is mentioning 750 rupees. It's not a big deal, but it shows the professionalism aspect. This is a weak professional aspect. One should be uh, consistent in these small things. It's the details which are always more important than you know the flashy things, the cosmetic things. Small things, but then it tells about how motivated, how concerned you are about your product. Moving ahead, so let's start with some of the questions mentioned in the book, right? So this was, I've mainly referred the 2023, reviewed the 2023 questions only of different subjects. In some subjects, I've gone to the older years also, but largely it is 2023 only. This review is based on, because the latest year is the most important year for any publisher, for any product seller. So the greatest effort will be put in the latest year. So that is the basis of just being with 2023. So art and culture, you have this question with reference to ancient India. Consider the following statements, right? Concept of stupa, Buddhist in origin, etc. So you can just pause the video if you want to read the question. Let us come to the answer. Let's see how this answer, the quality of this answer. See, the answer it says is Bravo, B. And B, if you come here, it says only two. And the question is saying correct statement. So as per the book, only two statements are correct. As per this is what is given in this answer. But look at the explanation. The first statement is incorrect and the third statement is incorrect. So the answer actually is saying only one statement is correct, right? The explanation is saying only one is correct, but the answer is saying two statements are correct. Quality issue, quality problem, right? So the moment I saw this, my trust started to get eroded in the quality of the effort put in the book, the content. I'll show you a few other things also. So my trust started getting eroded. This is not what I want from around. I purchased this book for around 400 rupees, I think, from Amazon recently. So off to a bad start. So this was the first question of the book. Okay, art and culture is the first section, I believe, in the book. The first question of the first section gone wrong. Okay, I'm not even getting into the quality of the explanation here. This was big enough to put off the reader. Next, let's see. This was the second question. Okay, this was just below this question. This was, see, stupa was the first question. Then we have immediately below that second question. Problem, it's a minor issue, but nevertheless, see, I'm a professional researcher, so I tend to be uh, very minute in whatever I do, right? So this is a habit also, you can say. So I'm myself saying it's a minor thing only, but for me it was like my eyes caught this, and I did not really like it didn't go down well with me. So bodyguards, this term is given in brackets, but in the paper this term is without brackets, and brackets are important because they are a part of grammar, like the communication, the message which you will understand when you read a statement or a sentence where the commas are put, inverted commas are put, brackets are put, full stop is there. It changes the meaning that you decipher from the statement. So it's a minor thing, but if it were a longer statement, the meaning could have changed, right? Punctuation is really very important. So a small thing. And then let us see the description, right? Answer is delta. Delta actually is the right answer to this question, but let's see what it is written. It says it is a Tamil ritual. I'm not considering the minor grammar mistakes. Okay, it is a Tamil ritual of fasting till death. Tamil kings, in order to save their honor and prestige, okay, were prepared to meet their death. See, if we read this explanation, I just found out, like, I just copy pasted this text in Google and saw where it came from. So it is actually a copy paste from Wikipedia. Exact same thing is given in Wikipedia. And the kind of information that we want, what we are paying for, we don't want it to be a copy pasted work from somewhere. Like, so my overall opinion of all the questions which will be discussed in today's video across all the different subjects, what I felt is like this work or this solution making was done by an inexperienced person, somebody who doesn't really understand the examiner's mind, this exam, and is just the only objective was to vomit something about the question without worrying about, without thinking about, without caring for the relevance of the content which they are giving. We discussed, right, initially itself, relevance is very important, and reasonableness of the length, appropriate length it should be. So look at what value are we getting with this kind of explanation? Never they would turn their back in battle. These are all useless words here. They're not adding value. If they wanted to give a better solution, it could have been like, maybe if this practice is given, they could mention which poem name. Maybe tomorrow poem name could be asked, right? Sangam poems, it is said, some, if prominent some poem is there, they could give the poem name. They could mention maybe, some famous king, Chera, Chola, Pandya, whatever, like the southern kings, Sangam kings, who some famous king who did this practice, Vatta Kirutal, like who killed himself. Maybe like those kind of stuff are what asked by UPSC. There was a question about Portuguese writer Nunes, about Vijayanagar, right? Women were astrologers and accountants and all of that, bodyguards, wrestling. So like that kind of information should have been given here and not just some copy pasted stuff from Wikipedia, right? Let's look at another question. So this was just a minor uh, mistake, like Nyay Chandra Suri. It seems like these are three words, but Nyay Chandra was one word only. I forgot to put that, uh, this question from the original question paper. What I recall is Nyay and Chandra were not two separate words. It was just one word, right? Minor thing, but just something I noticed. Then now this is important. Okay, souls are not only the property of animal and plant life, but also of this, right? This reflects what the answer to this is Jainism. Firstly, look at the error. It is saying Vahinavism. If somebody is not aware that the actual name is Vaishnavism, they may just take this as true. They may think that Vaishnavism is actually something, because we will not doubt the correctness of the names given in a book which we have purchased, right? So this is a problem, and this is serious, because your answer will depend on what names you are reading. Somebody might think that Vaishnavism and Vahinavism are different things, right? So it's a serious thing. It's an option, and they should have uh, been more careful about it. Then look at the answer. Answer is bravo of this question, and it says, see, the question is about core beliefs of Jainism. So they should have in the answer given what are the other core beliefs of Jainism, right? Even maybe they could have read NCRT and just collect that information, make it relevant, right? Make it relevant for the exam and give it in the answer. But here they've written like Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism believed in reincarnations. This question is not really about reincarnation. It's about soul is present everywhere, right? So this is not important. It was not needed. It's not appropriate. Then it says, but Buddhism believed every second. Again, but Buddhism. This question is about Jainism, yaar. Buddhism क्यों घुसा रहे हो? But Buddhism believed every second your soul changes, so this is that, whereas Jainism believed. So the whole explanation is actually taking a different tangent here. This seems to be an explanation of a question which is asking you the difference between Buddhist and Jaina thought, right? But the question is not that. The question is completely different. So the explanation is not appropriate. This is not really adding value to a student's preparation. All right. Let's see another question. This was so you can see, like, out of art and culture, like, out of the first five questions, the four questions, this was the third one, right? Minor error, and the fourth one. So the starting four questions itself themselves had errors. Every single one of those questions had some error, minor or major, right? So this really, uh, mm, you know, eroded the trust in this book. Then I just went to other years. I thought maybe, 2023 was different, and the question, although the questions were not different, the format was different. But just to give the book a benefit of doubt, I referred some other years. So in 2020, you can notice the segregation is year wise and subject wise, not topic wise, right? You can see here. So this question in art and culture, they are giving history questions. Look at this. Desher Katha question. It was by Sakaram Deuskar, right? This was a question of history. Prominently, it's about history. Just because it is mentioning plays and folk songs, I'm not sure, like, if this was the motivation of putting it in art and culture, because no other word in this question is actually about anything related to art and culture. So it's a history question. Should have been in history, but they've put it in culture, right? Careless attitude. अगेन गांधी इम्पैक्ट है यार, चलो कोई ये बोले, चलो ठीक है, किसी कोई जस्टिफाई करे कि भाई ये आर्ट एंड कल्चर का ऐसे ऐसे हो सकता है, चलो गांधी इम्पैक्ट का क्या करोगे? हाउ इज गांधी इम्पैक्ट a part of art and culture? They've given it in 2020 as question number 2 in this section. Question number 3, you can see Ulgulan. This Ulgulan was about ये तुम्हारा बिरसा मुंडा वाला आंसर था इसका, right? So again, this is history of, the question also is saying यार history of India. ये वही मैंने बोला ना, it seems to be a work of a novice, मतलब कोई नादान बुद्धि ने काम किया है. It's not like somebody who understands the exam or the seriousness of this product, PYQs, right? Then okay, look at this answer of the first question. This is the Deuskar question. Look at this last part. The overall theme of his book is not confined and full stop. It is just ending randomly, not confined to Bengal. The statement is this, the third statement. The use of Desh by Deuskar was in the specific context of the region of Bengal. So they should have mentioned it here. They are just stopping at confined, which is so abrupt. It should say to Bengal to complete the sense of this statement, right? I'm not talking from grammatical angle, but somewhere in some other question, if this is the same thing which is flowing into, I didn't see all the questions. I just got the book today, and I'm actually returning this book for these reasons, right? So they should put the complete information. Somebody's attempt is at stake here, right? So incomplete statements they are making. Then geography question, okay, 2023 Indian geography. So it says इसमें क्या था? Okay, देखो, it says meandering of Gandak river formed the Kanwar lake. Now this actually uh, is not accurate. The NCRT says Budi Gandak. It says statement 3 is correct, and it says Kamar Jheel, this Begusarai. Now look at the relevance of the information here, right? So even if it's a, you might say it's a disputed question, let us wait for the official answer key. All right, let us not go for the correctness or incorrectness. Let us see the relevance of the content they have given in the answer. See, Kawarji, locally called, that's okay. Located 22 kilometers northwest of Begusarai town. इसकी क्या जरूरत थी यार? How is it adding value to my preparation, right? Your preparation. How is it adding any value? Then residual oxbow lake. चलो ठीक है. These are, this was Asia's biggest oxbow lake. They didn't mention that. It's an important location on Central Asian flyway, like that migratory zone. They didn't mention that. It is inhabited by many critically endangered species. They should have listed those vulture species and some other birds. They didn't mention that. but they are just mentioning some 22 kilometers northwest of Begusarai town. Right? Completely useless information it is. Formed due to meandering of Budi Gandak. यहाँ देखो Budi Gandak. Gandak and Budi Gandak are different rivers, and they are saying Budi Gandak here, and the question is saying Gandak. So uh, I don't know if they're considering Budi Gandak to be the same river or they're considering it as a part of the Gandak basin. I'm not sure. Like they seem to have given the right reasoning, but the answer is conflicting. Okay, look at the explanation of the second statement. The second statement said Krishna River directly feeds Koleru Lake. This particular statement has been asked in the PYQ already. I've made a video on this in one of my previous videos where I was discussing the relevance of PYQs. And or multiple times Krishna and Koleru separately, also in multiple questions, Krishna and Koleru have been asked, and directly this information also has been asked in one PYQ, and similarly this particular first statement also was asked in the same PYQ, right? So look at the explanation here. It says statement 2 is not correct. Okay, Koleru Lake is fed directly by water from seasonal Badameru and Tamileru streams. They are making this statement as if UPSC wants you to know which are the streams which directly feed Koleru Lake. This is not the question. The question doesn't want you to tell which streams or rivers directly feed Koleru Lake. The question only wants you to know whether Krishna River directly feeds Koleru or not, because Krishna and Koleru are important. These are not important. It's not a knowledge heavy exam. It's not a state PSC exam where you need to mug up these kind of minor unimportant facts. If you are going for these kind of facts, you will be going for such facts for all questions. You'll be very difficult. पागल हो जाओगे यार, ऐसे कैसे पढ़ोगे? बहुत मुश्किल है. Right? So they've got the wrong understanding of the question. The question is not about which streams. The question is about Krishna and Koleru. Right? So they should have mentioned maybe some in the explanation. They could have mentioned some other famous lake which Krishna is directly feeding. That could have been there. Or if some other famous river is directly feeding Koleru Lake, that could have been mentioned. But they've just completely gone off tangent. Right? Uh, this is it's not important. You should not. It's not a relevant information. Similarly, in the first statement, see what they have written between the towns of Sopore and Bandipur in Sangram near Baramulla Road. Address ही दे दिया पूरा. It's not needed, यार. It's मतलब this is useless information. Who will benefit if you are paying 400 rupees for this book? You are paying for the explanation. You are paying this book to ease your preparation, right? But these things are not easing your preparation by any way. Then let us see the jackfruit question. This was a difficult question. Yes. See the explanation to this question. Three species were mentioned, out of which two were mentioned in the NCRT. The first one also is mentioned, but not in the context of deciduous nature of the tree or not, but a seasonal fruit that was given in the NCRT. But they have in the explanation just written about something about jackfruit. They have not mentioned what is mahua, what is teak, what kind of nature of these species. Maybe what products, what important or famous products are made by these tree species, mahua, teak, or jackfruit. Nothing is given, right? They could have thought about what more could be asked around these species. So their nature deciduous has been asked. What more? Maybe climate angle से कुछ emissions related हो, कुछ you know wildlife related, conservation related, something industry related, something. They could have thought on those lines, but they've just mentioned something about jackfruit and just winded up the answer, right? So look at the third answer, just 3 lines and finished. So this is not appropriate. This is not enough. It should be of a reasonable length, relevant and reasonable. It's not reasonable. Then look at the next question. Right, there was this question about extensive marshland. Which of the following, the question read, which of the following is an example of continuous fall, repeated fall in sea level giving rise to present day extensive marshland? This was the question. So I just broke it because the question was in the other half, bottom half of the page, and then this was the other column in the top part. So I broke the question, but look at the answer. Four things are given, out of which, like, they should have given information about all of these, like what are these, where are they located, why are they important, Ramsar sites hain kya ki kya hai. Like they could have thought about so many things, so many angles, but they've again, just like the jackfruit question, just given something about Run of Kutch and winded up the answer. That's not appropriate. Similarly, this titanium question, they have given it wrong. It should be ilmenite. If I remember it correctly, it is not limonite, it should be ilmenite. So some typo. Okay. And look at the answer. Again, titanium is a strong and lightweight metal widely used in industries such as aerospace. This heavy metal sand comprises, again, some, see, ilmenite. It is ilmenite only. See, again, they have just copy pasted it from somewhere, most probably Wikipedia, I guess. No mention, like just very, very generic information. This is useless. All right, so let me show you another very interesting question. Okay. Uh, all right. So this question I took from my channel. I told you I've got a PYQ product also. That's a paid product. And see, my product also will have weaknesses. Every product has got strengths, every product has got weaknesses. So I would actually encourage people to review my product professionally, like I'm doing this one, so that my product too can improve. But I've this it's a digital product, and this was a question uh, in 2018. It said, amongst the following cities, which one lies on a longitude closest to that of Delhi? Right? Four cities were given, and look at what they've done in the answer. Like 2018, this answer, cities coordinates, they have given maps of India website, and then they've just given the latitudes and longitudes of these cities here. Matlab, according to this book, you must remember these facts to answer the question. That's their approach to this question. But this question, naturally, you cannot remember latitudes and longitudes. So many important cities are there. They've asked just these. They could have asked anything, like, right? How can you remember latitude, longitudes? This is a wrong approach. This question should be solved via common sense. Yeah, this is a very random question. How you could solve it? One of the ways is, read the question once again. It says, amongst the following cities, which one lies on a longitude closest to that of Delhi? So longitude will mean a vertical line. If you see the options, the answer, because it's a very random question, the answer has to be a famous city, an important city. That will only make sense in the to be the answer. The answer will not be something like Hyderabad or Nagpur. Like these are less important than Bangalore and Pune. The answer has to be between Bangalore and Pune only, because the question is so random. And Pune, we know where Pune is. It's close to Mumbai, right? And if you know where Delhi is, certainly Pune is not on the same latitude as Delhi. So the only answer, the only popular city, most popular out of A, B, and C is A. So A has to be the answer in this question, right? See, A is the answer. Sorry, here, A is the answer to this question. But they are making you mug up these latitudes and longitudes. That this was a shock question. This question intended to test your, shock bearing capacity, your calmness, coolness of mind. Such questions are asked regularly. Almost every year, such questions are asked. Right? 2023 also had these kind of questions, but this is a wrong approach. Then look at some other questions. Okay, 2023 World Geography. About three-fourths of world's cobalt, about 75% of world's cobalt required for manufacturing of EVs is produced by which country, right? Look at that answer. DRC is the news, okay, is in news by the ILO. Okay, they're going for, this is the first question, right? It's a right pair I've made. But they are saying ILO and child labor by Chinese firm. Okay, for extracting cobalt for, ridiculous. How is the 75%, the three-fourths of world's cobalt mentioned here? How is it justified? How are they, like, they should have given something, like they could have given list of countries, maybe the top three cobalt reserve holder countries. They could have given maybe the top cobalt producer country, if the producer and the reserve holder are different. Maybe the second top two producer countries. Uh, they've not done that. Yeah, but some useless thing they've written. Okay. Then see which of them is a part of Congo Basin. Again, a very random question, right? Like that Bengaluru question, latitude, longitude of Delhi, very random. Congo Basin, Congo River, but it's very hard to do actually this question. Why? Just plain knowledge, right? You have to have some knowledge, but plain knowledge. So now this question, countries like Nigeria and South Sudan, they are very famous, and the river Congo is very famous. If they were in Congo Basin, we would have heard about it, right? So answer will not be the famous countries in this question. This is the change. In Bengaluru question, the answer will be a famous city, the most famous city, right? But of course, not the would have heard. Pune is would have heard. If Pune were in Delhi's same latitude, you would have observed, right? Same way here, slightly change. Like famous countries will not be the answer because Congo is a very famous river. So answer will not be B and C. Answer has to be between A and D. Now between A and D, if you have done your mapping, Uganda we study more than Cameroon. Right? Uganda in the context of Lake Victoria, also that region mapping, if you can recall, Uganda is there, Lake Victoria. So we would have heard if Uganda is in the Congo basin. So whatever is left, Cameroon is left, Cameroon is the answer. That's it. We could not do this question by knowledge of Cameroon, but by knowledge of B, C, and D, right? And look at what they have done. Countries that part of Congo Basin, they're just listed. They're just listed. This is again copy pasted from Wikipedia. You are not supposed to know. कितना ऐसे पढ़ोगे तो ऐसे नहीं तैयारी होगी यार. कभी दौड़ ही खत्म नहीं होगी फिर तुम्हारी. Same thing, same problem in another question. This was again of I think 2020. This question is from ocean mean temperature, right? Look at their solution. So the according to them, it is 26 degrees Celsius. So 26 degrees Celsius isotope is fine, but it's the 59 meters which is the correct fact and not 129 meters. So according to them, you should know 59 meters to mark this statement as false. Right, this is ridiculous, yeah. Who will know all of these facts? This first statement is false because it's a deep fact, it's a specialist fact. Only specialists will know things like 129 meters or 59 meters or 60 meters or what, right? Even 26-degree isotherm, only specialists will know that. So two facts were given, they did gave one correct, one false. If only one fact was given, like in this kind of framing, that fact will be wrong because it's a specialist fact and this is a generalist exam. We are not specialists, so we'll not know that information, right? Deep fact, it will be wrong. They have given something uh, knowledge heavy. See, this is why, this is the problem, right? Anything which is making your preparation very knowledge heavy, you need to know this, that, you know, a lot of things, and it is pulling you away from the important sources, the NCRTs, the PYQs, right? It's pulling you away from those sources because your time and energy will go in mugging up those facts which they are giving, and you'll trust their wisdom, you'll trust what they are telling, and you'll try to mug up all of these things for the topics which are not mentioned in the question, but they are a part of that theme, right? So here, you know, ocean mean temperature for Indian Ocean was asked. You may be doing it for a Pacific or El Nino or something like that. This kind of stuff, right? It's not needed here. This is irrelevant. Again, waggle dance question of 2023, right? The answer was honeybees. Now look at their answer. They have said honeybees often indicate them, their kin, by their dance forms. Dance forms ही बोल दिया भाई. मतलब ये हनी बी है कि इंडियन कल्चर का कोई ट्राइब है कि यू नो दिल हैव डिफरेंट रीजन है कि दिल हैव डिफरेंट डांस फॉर्म्स. चलो मान लिया डांस फॉर्म्स है भी, तो लिस्ट करो ना भाई. दे शुड हैव लिस्टेड द डांस फॉर्म्स, राइट? डिफरेंट ways in which honeybees dance, they should have listed. It could be asked in the future, but they just winded up with this one statement. Then some mushroom. This question was pretty simple, right? Some is there. Naturally, all of them have to be correct. I'm not going by the traditional ET just because some is there. But if you think about it, there are so many species. Some could have all of these properties. What they are saying, right? So, and the question is not just restricted to some region or India, the whole Earth, right? So some species could be there naturally. So all statements have to be correct, but look at what they have given in the answer. On the basis of kingdom of fungi, they're not even talking about mushrooms. So they should at least tell that mushrooms are fungi, right? Are they the same? Is there any difference? So they have not done that. They've directly come to kingdom of fungi, then three class, and then something they've written. And like this is not the right explanation, which at least I would want to read, or I would want my students to prepare in this way. It's not appropriate. Indian squirrels question, again, it was a shocker question. We are yet to see the answer to this question. As per me, this was again like testing your common sense observation power and the ability to remain cool in the exam because of the nature of the information that was asked. The information asked was very general, nothing specific, but just observation based. So Indian squirrels, right, common squirrel. So build nest. Nest means it's regular, residing place. So if you approach a squirrel, it will climb a tree, right? That's the basic behavior of squirrels. They're shy creatures. So they will be like, and that they are climbing trees because their nest is in the tree, right? Their home is in the tree. So it should not ideally be in the ground. Then they store food materials. This is a specialized activity, storing of food material. This they will do secretly, discreetly, right? So this may be true. We are no one to say that they do not store in the ground because we don't observe, like they're shy creatures. You'll not be able to observe them as closely to have knowledge about the second statement. This was my reasoning behind why I feel the second statement is correct, because like it has to be correct, this statement. We are nobody to say, we are not specialists, or we don't have that observation like we had that observation in the first statement. We don't have that kind of observation for the second statement. So whatever UPSC is saying, it's okay, because otherwise there is no apparent trap in the second statement. And same approach for the third statement. So from that angle, I thought the second and the third statements are true. Bravo should be the answer. So they've given Bravo as the answer, but look at their explanation. Squirrels are herbivore and frugivore. They're not even explained in brackets what is frugivore, as they depend on fruits and nuts. No mention of the first statement, no mention of the second statement, right? Just probably the third statement they are writing. Let's see, right? So, guys, overall, like, I've got many questions, but I think this video has already got pretty long. So, we'll just stop after this question. So, look at this fourth question. Which of the following constitutional amendments was widely believed, this is the keyword, widely believed to be enacted to overcome judicial interpretation, uh, not overcome the judicial, not the fundamental interpretation of, should be, I think, should be of the fundamental rights, right? Answer has to be between A and B because these are the famous amendments in this context. But the most famous is Bravo. So I personally feel answer will most likely be Bravo. But still, the First Amendment has got some relevance to what is asked in the question. So we have to wait for the official answer key. The answer is disputed. So they have also said the same thing, but look at their, they've not mentioned anything about the First Amendment. If they are, ideally, they should have given information about all the four amendments. They have just mentioned the 42nd Amendment, right? And, you know, in their content on important constitutional amendments. So they've got this chapter on important constitutional amendments in the book. They've listed all these amendments and their main features. They've started with the Second Amendment. Now, if UPSC has asked First Amendment in a question and this book was made after the 2023 paper was made, should they not have given information about the First Amendment as well? They should have, right? But they started with the Second Amendment only. Again, big this thing gap. And many videos on YouTube, they are like praising this aspect. They're giving constitutional amendments, they're giving constitutional articles, this, that. Right? These are very minor things. These things are not important for making a purchase decision. These are just some extra bits in the book. The most important thing is accuracy of the question. There should be less errors, right? Uh, Relevance, importance, appropriateness of the answer, all of these things are important for purchase decision, and this book seems to have failed on these aspects, right? Similarly, other questions also are there. So let me just wind up this video, otherwise it'll take uh, a lot of time. But my whole idea behind making this video, guys, again, I want to reiterate that it was not to malign anyone, but to highlight the weaknesses in this particular uh, uh, PYQ source. And that is the reason why I gave it about 3 marks out of 10. That will be all in this video. Let me know what you feel about the review, how we can improve it. Surely there'll be some weaknesses also, how we can improve this review in future, what other book you want me to review, and I'll try my best to deliver on your suggestions as soon as possible. Thank you. Good night.